This presentation is created by Louise Devlin and Leona Temple. For our presentation, we have chosen how Highscope supports inclusion. Throughout this PowerPoint, we are going to give you an overview on Highscope and inclusion and how inclusion is a main part of Highscope. Our overview is inclusive practice, what is Highscope, diversity, equality, Asher in the early childhood curriculum, identifying barriers, active learning, and diverse and inclusive practice. What is inclusive practice? Inclusive practice is an approach to teaching that recognises the diversity of students, enabling all students to access course content, fully participating in learning activities and demonstrating their knowledge and strengths at assessments. Reasons for inclusion. Inclusion is a vital part of any educational setting as it lowers the chances of bullying and develops self-esteem whilst creating a respectful, caring environment. Reasons to include are benefits children to learn together, eliminates discrimination, creates justice, builds friendship with other children and respects and understanding. Principles of inclusive practice are that Highscope follows guidelines and principles in their praxis, which are access to childcare settings is a right for all children. Each child's individuality should be valued. Expectations should be high for every child, and parents of children with impairments are natural. What is Highscope? The main aim of Highscope is that children construct their own learning by the use of materials, working in groups, helping one another come up with different ideas. Highscope's aim is that children learn through active involvement to become independent, responsible and confident, and to learn to plan their own activities. The first Highscope rate of learning is suited for practitioners working with children from 0 to 3 years of age. Examples of settings using this wheel would be Sure Start or daycare centres. The second Highscope wheel of learning is suited for practitioners working with children 3 to 6 years old. Highscope settings that we use would be nurseries or playgroups. Some of these roles are to develop the child's ability to build initiative and make decisions, help guide children through activities, develop child's ability to work with other children and adults, and to help all children with additional needs and include all children in the group. When we praise children for their artwork, we are telling them that they are valued. Displaying and labelling their pictures creates an inclusive practice as it shows we value their child's work. Hanging up the artwork lets them see themselves as an artist. This also encourages them to develop. When we support children with special needs, we need to ensure that we look at the 7 following factors, such as active learning, learning environment, daily routine, the effective communication, supporting learning through play, feeling in conflict, and having fun with music. The learning environment. The learning environment includes the selection of equipment and materials and the arrangement of the furniture. It is very important in Highscope that the learning environment meets the needs of every child, allowing all children to have equal access to the resources available, which shows how Highscope supports inclusion and in the learning environment. The daily routine is the order of the day's events. During the daily routine, it is important that you take into account each child's individual needs. During these routines, it's important to allow enough time for each activity. According to Asher, play possibilities can be enhanced. We can do this in Highscope through supporting a range of areas and for children that have impulsive and conflict behaviour, become withdrawn or isolated. English isn't their first language. Highscope can do this through creating appropriate policies and procedures. Learning in which the child, by acting on objects and interacting with people, ideas and events, constructing new understanding. There are a range of areas to developing active learning in Highscope, such as using materials, choice, and child communication and thought. Diversity. The Highscope preschool curriculum accommodates children from diverse backgrounds, including those with special needs or children which may require additional help. Highscope also accommodates children that require extra help in the English language. Equality. Highscope supports equality as teachers and other professionals work together to recognise the children's needs. They work along with the children, engaging in a range of different activities that help promote the children's learning. Highscope is more of a hands-on experience which allows all children to work together as part of a group, which also looks back on inclusion.
For young children to reach their full potential, we need to ensure that we cater for the child's diverse needs. We can do this in Highscope through creating an inclusive and developmentally appropriate setting. Highscope uses active learning, in which involves the child exploring the world around them. The organised learning environment helps the child to build independence as they can have a sense of control of their daily routines.
Building relationships with parents. Building a strong relationship with parents also relates back to the topic where Highscope supports inclusion, as it is not only interested in the child, but it is also interested in the families and parents of these children.
In Highscope setting, it's important that we identify barriers such as ethos, policies, attitude, and policies and procedures. To create a positive environment in Highscope setting, we need to ensure that we have an inclusive environment. If we are prejudging a child's abilities rather than looking to help them to develop, we are not creating inclusion in the setting.
In conclusion, we feel that Highscope supports inclusion throughout a number of different ways. We feel that Highscope supports all children with and without additional needs, and also aims for all children to reach their full potential with the help of Highscope.